Here we are. Welcome, Brad.
Hello, welcome everybody.
Welcome to 100% GearHeads.
Da, da, da.
Da-da-da-da. As you can see, we have one gearhead who has AirPods and the other gearhead who has nothing.
I have an attempted AirPod, but it's not working out like it's supposed to.
It's more of a prop. It's more of a prop than a mic and a headphone.
That's right.
It's just a prop to fill your ear hole.
That's right. Makes me feel special.
Brad is AirPodless today, so he's going commando.
Apologies if there's an echo as a result.
It's not too bad.
We'll do the best we can. So
it's not too bad. So
welcome. Happy episode 2.
Yeah, we had fun on the first one. I thought it was very well received. We've gotten a lot of great discussions that have happened since, and some ideas for some new episodes. We've actually got somebody working on a jingle for us, so it doesn't just start with "Hi."
I like it.
So we're getting all serious here because we actually got a little bit of attention from the first one. So hopefully it carries on, because the idea is really to pass on good information, tips, just ways for people to make more money and be more successful selling their gear or buying their gear on GearSource. And that's the general idea. And so our first segment here is now called Deep Thoughts. And so really it's just, I want to talk about ideas or things that we've had happen, or just new things we want to talk about. And one of the things that's been on my mind a lot, Brad, you're supposed to say, what's on your mind?
What's on your mind?
Oh, thank you. I'm glad you asked. I appreciate it. So I've seen a lot of people, and this is going to sound pretty, whatever, like it's just saying it to help us or to sell more gear. But I've seen a lot of people selling very expensive equipment on Facebook Marketplace.
Yeah.
And I know there are a couple of really large groups on Facebook for sound equipment, lighting equipment, staging, whatever. And that's really great if you know the people that you're selling to or buying from. But I've already talked to a few people who have had some real problems selling on Facebook Marketplace and getting ripped off. And, we've been doing this 20 years. So when somebody is going to try and rob us with a credit card or a funny bank transfer or a funny cashier's check, we know every trick in the book, and we have a system that is there to catch these robbers as well. And on GearSource, we're catching fraud literally probably multiple times per week, or fraud attempts, I should say. And it's because we're using a world-class system. We're using a system that is built to do this. It's built to catch people who are trying to separate others from their money. And so that's one of the big problems, is that I just feel like if you're really using a marketplace like Facebook to sell your gear to a global audience, it's just a matter of time until you lose big on one of these deals. And then secondly, a lot of people tell me they're not interested in selling to a global audience. So if you're just looking to sell to some of your friends who happen to be on Facebook as well, no problem. I could see that working out for you. I just think that you're going to get less money at the end of the day. So if you're selling to people you don't know who are on the other side of the world, chances are you're going to get a better price for that product than you are from your buddy down the street who's like, Brad, come on, give me a deal. I've been renting this stuff from you for years. Just sell it to me. And so, again, I don't think GearSource replaces Facebook Marketplace. I don't think Facebook Marketplace is really a competitor, because we're a purpose-built marketplace for this market. But I just find it interesting that people are willing to sell a $200,000 or $150,000 sound system or lighting package on Facebook.
Well, it's interesting, and I'm glad you brought this up. I reach out to a lot of folks if I see a high dollar something on Facebook being sold somewhere, and just say, hey, how's it going? Check in and see if there's something that we can do to help, how their experience has been trying to sell stuff on Facebook. There are a handful of people who has success with it and they do it very well. They must have the right friends or figured out the magic sauce, or I don't know. But most of the people that I talk to, one of the biggest complaints that they have is just a waste of time. Most people that buy things on Facebook, they're buying, I don't know, a $50 item that is, a used thing from somebody down the street. And, the transaction is very, I'll say internet-esque, in that people are browsers and they're looking and they're window shopping a lot. And they're very quick to say, hey, is this available? But they're also just as quick to ghost you and not follow up, or not have any real intent of buying or have the ability to buy. So one of the biggest things that we can do is to qualify those buyers. If somebody gets to the point where they've placed an order on GearSource for a product that you're interested in, they've had to jump through a couple of steps, and they had to very intentionally go there. They didn't just randomly happen across it, when they're scrolling through Facebook and bored at 11 o'clock at night, but have no money or ability to do anything. So it's a big time saver for folks too.
Also, once they do that, when they place an order and you get an inquiry as a seller, they've been through level 1 sort of fraud check.
Right.
So we're already looking at them to try and find their blemishes and figure out whether they're real or they're fraudster. And then there's multiple levels of that through the purchasing process. So, bottom line is you're never going to get screwed on a deal like that on GearSource. Whereas, on eBay and Facebook and other just mass marketplaces where you're just this tiny little thing in the middle, chances are eventually you are going to get nailed, especially if you're selling outside your little locality. But anyways, I wanted to bring that up because I see it more and more, and I don't know if it's because Facebook, is using algorithms that are pushing it into my feed because they see I'm in that business.
Yeah.
But I'm seeing a lot more stuff popping up on Facebook Marketplace. And the other thing is, I've had people tell me, well, it's just cheaper to sell on Facebook Marketplace. You guys are charging me a fee. Facebook doesn't charge me a fee. But, remember all of that stuff. I keep seeing me freeze up here for some reason.
You are. Yeah, I'm seeing you freeze too, but I still hear you, so that's okay.
Okay. But wow, now I'm just gone. That's weird. My internet has been perfect until just now. Well, it's probably better. I have a voice for radio anyways.
That's right.
But the other thing I've been hearing about Facebook is that, well, we're beating a dead horse. I mean, the thing is, once an order happens, we've usually done an awful lot of work ahead of time. We've filtered out all of the nonsense so it doesn't come to you. We've done a lot of that work. And, that's part of what we make on the fee, collecting the payment in a very non-fraudulent way, in a way that, keeps you from getting screwed, is another important thing. We help a lot with logistics, even though you're doing your own shipping as a seller. We help a lot. We can guide you, especially if it's international. We can help you through that process. So, yeah, I mean, I think we earn our 7% or whatever it is. So,
absolutely, yeah, and we charge a fee, but relative to brokers, if you've worked with brokers in the past, we're lower than almost every single broker that's out there. And my opinion is that you get more bang for that fee, bang for your buck, just because of the fact that we're able to, market things so internationally, and it's not strictly based on the one-to-one relationships that we have. So,
right.
Interesting thoughts there.
Yeah.
One announcement that I did want to make just at the top is we have a couple of major inventory liquidations that are coming up. So keep an eye out for those coming soon. You'll see some email blasts and things, but if you're interested in opportunities to get a great pile of gear for less than you would if you were paying full market value for all of it, let us know. Reach out to sales@gearsource.com, and we can certainly make sure that you're included in the list when those emails go out.
Yeah, we've done a couple of those recently where one of them I know was around, I think, 700,000 that went from Chile to Canada, and another one that went from Asia into Florida was another $600,000. I know of a couple of companies, one that's a sound company that's adding a lighting division, and one that's a lighting company that's adding a sound division. and both of them are looking hard at these deals that we've got incoming, and they're waiting on lists and pricing and stuff. So it's a nice way to fill an entire department. And what it is that a company someplace else is either shifting gears and going into a different segment of the business, or sadly they're closing altogether because, you know, in some cases they're just not able to do shows still in their local markets because of you know, this remnants of the pandemic, or the remaining bits of the pandemic. So yeah,
challenges of COVID.
Yeah.
Cool. So next thing is new and hot listings this week. So what we've got looking at this week for things to check out, the Electra Voice XLC 127 DVX package. This is a complete line array system that I believe has 16 boxes, dollies and covers. So this is things like this are what we're getting a lot more and more of, and why it's such a surprise when you know, a turnkey line array shows up on Facebook. We sell a ton of this kind of stuff. So this is an EV one that just came online in the last week. Another one that we have that's a good new listing is for ARRI L7Cs. Now, I'm a lighting guy, not an audio guy, so I'm a little bit more passionate about this stuff. But if you've seen these fixtures, they are by far one of the best LED Fresnels on the market. And ARRI really did a great job in putting the color mix together on these and how that whole system works for either studio stuff or for you know, broadcast, whatever you need. But they're really, really incredible fixtures that are definitely worth the price. And I think new, these are closer to $5 or $6 grand a piece. They are not cheap, so this is a pretty good deal. So that's ARRI fixtures. We mentioned last time that we've started selling stuff for Christie Digital, so that is in the works, and we've got stuff coming online all the time. So this is one of the newest, latest, and greatest is LCD panels. So these are for putting together a video wall without doing LED tiles, so it's more self-contained. There's a couple of different sizes of panels that have been posted in the last week with varying quantities available and things, but these are all new with a full warranty, as you see. And then the other thing that I wanted to throw out here, this doesn't seem very exciting, but I did this on purpose, is you know, we get all kinds of different things to sell on GearSource and a wide range. So everything from $100,000 or $250,000 PA system to $125, you know, 15-year-old light or whatever the 3000s are, you know. So yeah, it's a range, and it doesn't matter what you have to sell. You know, if it's something that's been sitting in the back of your warehouse for a long time, or if it's something that you just bought 2 years ago and you're trying to life cycle through your inventory, we can do any and all of that. And because of our international presence, especially in emerging markets and things, what is a lot of yesteryear's technology is still very applicable to many buyers. So
yes, I remember when these things, not that long ago, these atomics would sell in the hundreds the moment they were listed, and
absolutely.
I guess they're not quite as hot as they once were now that everybody's moving on to LED strobes, or most people are. But yeah, $125. Wow. Yeah. Cheap. Yeah. Absolutely. Cool. So yeah, one of the things I want to mention before we get into looking at NeedZone items is, and I might have even mentioned this in the last episode we did, but NeedZone is undergoing a massive tech revamp right now, and hopefully by the time we talk to you next, it will actually be done. But I know that it's that the coders are deep into it right now, and Brad, you might even have a more recent update because you've been on the daily updates with the coding guys. But yeah, so that'll be exciting. You know, we're trying to make it easier, friendlier, you know, just a better tool.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. And we do point people there all the time. So if you're a seller, or even if you're not a seller and you're thinking about selling, that's a good place to start, is go poke around on the NeedZone and see what people are looking for. Maybe
yes,
something that you've got. I thought one of the weird ones that has come up, and this again speaks to, you know, you can sell just about anything if you find the right buyer at the right time and the right price. But this top request here is for a Dove Scene Master SM6. I vaguely know what that is, but that's a real old dimmer.
No kidding. Wow.
the things that people are looking for, it just varies.
Well, you know what? And I guarantee there's somebody out there that's got one for sale.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Or got one that he just threw in the garbage last week, and he can go scrape it off and dust it
right?
up a little bit. And yeah.
Notable ones, D80 amplifier. There's also an Apex 2420 mobile stage. We talked about it a little bit last time with the Winger, but mobile stages are there are just not enough to be had. So if you've got a mobile stage of any kind, certainly it's worth listing, and it will move very quickly.
Yes, no pun intended. Mobile stage
right.
moving quickly.
If only I did it on purpose.
Yeah. So hot stuff that's maybe not a brand new listing, but something that is always hot.
Yeah. Last week on our list was MA2. That still continues. Roby Megapoints seem to have gone up the list. They've always been requested, but there are a lot of very active requests right now for people looking for Megapoints, and some active orders that have just been placed in the last day or two. So
yeah, I saw an order this morning, I think, that came from Estonia. Was it Estonia? Something like that. And the lights were in Asia somewhere. So yeah.
I think the lights are in Singapore, the buyer's in Estonia, so it's pretty amazing.
Where is Estonia? I don't even know where Estonia is.
Eastern Europe someplace.
I would guess it's in Eastern Europe. Yeah. Sounds far, but yeah.
Megapoints. The other thing that has come up too is actually MA2 command wings. So MA2 lights and fulls have been hot for quite some time, but we have a handful of requests right now for command wings that people are looking for, and I believe we only have one that's listed in Europe. So if anybody has command wings that they're sitting on that it might be willing to let go, we've got a couple of buyers that are interested. And then also have a couple of active requests for Vertec 48 various flavors. So 4888s, 89s, 81s, all the different combinations of Vertec stuff, either individual boxes or complete systems. Those have been pretty active in the last week.
That's interesting, because I don't know that we've sold a lot of Vertec or seen a lot of Vertec being sold recently.
I think Vertec is one of those things where it's got sort of a brand crowd, and there are followers that really love Vertec and they're users of Vertec. So when they show up, we make a couple of phone calls and they go pretty quickly.
Interesting.
But, we've got some of those inquiries in right now.
And so finally, the most exciting by far section of our episode each 2 weeks. Brad's tip of the week.
That's right. My tip of the week this week is if you're a seller and you have gear that you want to move, we offer free promotional tools. So we have daily deals that are a 24-hour flash sale. We run 3 of those a day, one in North America, one in Europe, and one in Asia. And then we also have weekly and other interval featured listings, email and social blasts that go out. So if you have gear that you're looking to move that you don't feel like is getting the right attention, or you're trying to turn it as quickly as you can, let us know and we can work with you on how to get into those queues. The schedules do fill up, so we want to make sure that we're planning those ahead of time. But it's a great tool to get literally thousands of people looking directly at your listing.
Well, and the other thing I'd like to add to that is that those are currently free. So we don't charge you for the additional promotion on social media or for the daily deals. The daily deals do tend to sell. And so, again, it's just free additional promotion right now. It might not always be free, but it's free today. And so that's a good one. Couple things that I'd like to mention. Well, one anyways, is that I think we're going to start getting some guests on. And I saw an email earlier or an exchange earlier with somebody pretty major coming on, one of our largest sellers in the world, the head of used equipment sales for that company. And so if you're interested in being a guest and coming on here and telling people how to sell gear more or how to buy gear or, whatever, I mean, the idea is really just to share information that's good for everyone and good for the market. And
Absolutely. Yeah, we're waiting on final confirmation from that guest, but the current plan is that he will be on with us at our next episode. So make sure you tune in there, and we will have lots of good intel from him on how he does what he does at such a large scale.
Excellent. Well, thank you, Brad, once again, and thanks for everyone who joined us. And more ideas, more great listings, more deep thoughts coming in a couple of weeks.
Absolutely. Thanks, everybody.
Bye-bye.
Have a good day.